Welcome back. You're watching KTN News Desk. Many thanks for staying with us. Once again, the Court of Appeal has ruled that presidential results announced at constituency level are final, adding that it is inconceivable to view these results as provisional or temporary. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission had filed an appeal challenging the High Court finding that the presidential election results announced by the constituency returning officer should be taken as a final. Our reporter, our senior reporter, Patrick Amimo, was in court following these proceedings very closely. Let's link up with him before we come back to the analysis here in studio. Patrick, good afternoon. What are some of the things that you picked out from this particular ruling?
Thank you, Akisa. This particular ruling, in fact, the Court of Appeal judges have come out to really hit at the IEBC for trying to circumvent the law after the High Court ruled clearly that Section 39, subsection 2 and 3 are unconstitutional. They've also come out clearly and say that the IEBC chairperson cannot arrogate himself the role of being the one to declare the presidential results as final, because this role relies on the presiding officer, returning officers at both the county and constituency level, because he says IEBC has to look at its offices and ensure that they are people of integrity. IEBC as the body should not doubt its staff. And just joining me here is Maina Kiai, a petitioner of this particular case that now allowed these elections to be those elections made at constituency level to be final. Mr. Kiai, what is your take on the ruling?
Well, I think the first thing I've got to say is that we're three petitioners, Tirop Kitur, Helefa and myself. We took this case because it is important that the values of the Constitution, which is lower down devolution, are implemented. The Constitution is clear that it's we as participants, as voters, who hold IEBC accountable and who protect our vote. So it needs to be that when we vote, we can also be there to count and tally and protect it. So once it's done there, it is finished. And no more tampering and no more of this verifying. You see, if you look at the history of the country, when results are announced at the polling station, constituency level, and then Nairobi, they change, they waver. Sometimes 10,000, sometimes 20,000. We're saying no more of that now. It stops there. We all take the results. So when now the final results, the official ones, are being declared by Nairobi, we can all compare. And so this makes it harder to steal the election. And in fact, it makes it easier for the IEBC. I was very surprised that IEBC has been opposing this case, because it helps them. It helps them. It makes everybody's life easier. It makes it less tense in this country. So it has a huge role in terms of making people more peaceful, and results come out quickly. Because you can all add. Now we know, in every polling station, you wait, they count, you take it down, and then you add. Everybody adds as they're coming through. So there's a big role for the media. And the media needs to be now in every polling station in this country, because we'll rely on you to be able to make sure that those results are accurate and correct.
Thank you. That is Maina Kiai, one among the three petitioners who brought up this case. And now also joining me is lawyer Sihaya. Just to give maybe Wakili, because maybe we just have a few minutes just to tell us about your reaction to this particular Willis, just your reaction to this particular ruling by the Court of Appeal.
Okay, one thing that we must note, the court is very emphatic that there is no more trooping to Nairobi to remove results from the grassroots to a center that the people have no control over. So these are victory for the people of Kenya today. We've asserted our sovereignty. We've asserted the place and the platform where the final election results are going to be declared. The courts have actually recognized the sanctity of the vote and the role of the people in determining that particular vote. That we are saying, once we vote in our polling stations, once we count at the polling station, once we announce at the polling station, that result is indeed final.
A serious indictment of IEBC, where once the High Court declared Section 39 unconstitutional, the court has said that IEBC tried to circumvent that particular provision. What's your take on that?
That is a very unfortunate, it's actually unfortunate conduct on the part of the Commission, that once you lose in a judicial, not even lose, once a judicial pronouncement is made, the Commission turns around to try to circumvent it by coming up with regulations whose import and effect is to undermine that which was being litigated and being pronounced on by the court. So it is actually an indictment, as you say, And I do hope that the Commission, in as much as it has a right to appeal this issue to the Supreme Court, it is itself circumventing the electoral process and delaying electoral preparations when it keeps coming back to court to argue on the same points that we've obtained judicial pronouncements on. What the Commission should do is right now to set up in place measures and mechanisms to ensure that we shall be having 290 centers where the people will follow their results and the finality of those results shall be declared.
Those are some of the views that we've just gathered from the lawyers here. And maybe just lastly to get from Mr. Lawyer Sihanya here, just your take on this your comment on the ruling.
Well, the court is also emphatic that we must remember the history where we came from and that we have had messy elections since 1992 through 2007 and even 2013 where there were problems associated with the integrity of the results management process. The court has also said that IEBC needs to implement the technology in terms of results transmission and related issues. Finally, for me, the court has also said IEBC must always follow the law and do the right thing. For example, recruit officers who have integrity and who should do the right thing. The court was clear.
Thank you so much, Lawyer Sihanya. Those are just reactions from the people who filed this particular case, just responding to the court ruling that has now IEBC has lost, where they wanted results declared at constituency level made null and void, but the Court of Appeal has upheld the ruling by the High Court and said the High Court had mandate to interpret and listen to this particular matter in as much as it regards it touched on the presidency. Akisa?
Thank you for that. Our senior reporter, Patrick Amimo, there joining us after just getting a number of reactions after that ruling by the 5-judge bench, the Court of Appeal dismissing the case by IEBC. We will be getting to more analysis on this, but before we get to that, let's get into sports. Arsenal